maguey tu nombre, unido al mío, entrelazados, como una prueba ante la ley del monte, que allí estuvimos enamorados. Tú misma fuiste quien buscó la penca, la más bonita, la más esbelta, y hasta dijiste que también grabara dos corazones con una flecha. Ahora dices que ya no te acuerdas, que nada es cierto, que son palabras. Yo estoy tranquilo porque al fin de cuentas en nuestro idilio las pencas hablan. Gracias. La misma noche que mi amor cambiaste, también cortaste aquella penca. Te imaginaste que si la veía, para ti sería como una afrenta. Se te olvidaba que el maguey sabía lo que juraste en nuestra noche, y que a su modo él también podría recriminarte con un reproche. No sé si creas las extrañas cosas que ven mis ojos, tal vez te asombres. Las pencas nuevas que al maguey le brotan tienen marcadas con nuestros nombres. Gracias.
Wow, Christine, wasn't that amazing?
That was incredible. Seriously, that was incredible.
It was just amazing way to start this fundraiser. So, welcome everyone to Art Inc. second annual fundraiser Dia De Los Muertos, Love Never Dies. My name is Carolina Huser, and I'm one of your hosts of this evening.
And I am Christine Kemper, your other host for the exciting virtual event. We'd like to say a big thank you to all of our sponsors, but a very special thank you to our friend-level sponsors, Shared Blessings and Darlene Violet. Stay engaged as we have two more songs that Art Inc.'s very own Nikki Romain and Party in the Comments section. We are all here to celebrate culture, pay tribute to the life of Annie Jo Gordon, bring awareness to Art Inc., and most importantly, raise funds for all their programs in support of their mission to inspire and empower the community through the arts. And here is a video that does just that.
This is about a need that everybody understands is essential in our community.
We are in the process of reimagining who we are going to be as one Peoria. It includes art, it includes culture, it includes entertainment, and it includes all of us. And so Jonathan and Nikki and their vision here at Arts Inc. and the Community Cultural Center, they are exactly what we need in Peoria right now.
Here at Art Inc., our mission is to inspire and empower the community through the arts. We do that through our programming. We have after-school programs, summer camps, and we also have cultural events. Our classes focus on theater, visual arts, which includes ceramics and painting, fine arts, music, and dance. And through all of these programs, we have STEAM, so we have science, technology, engineering, and math infused into all of our programs. We provide a safe, structured, after-school environment where kids can come and learn and be creative. And this happens regardless of their ability to pay.
Art Inc. is really I'd call it a bold statement, a non-profit organization that's really trying to bring a culture to Peoria and make it a better place.
The kid on that fence represents thousands of young people in our community that at a point in their lives, depending on who gets to them first, will determine the trajectory of their life.
And the art is the carrot to bring them in so that we can steer them in the right direction and get them off the streets.
We want to show kids not just how to create art, but how do you use your hands to create something that you can then later monetize.
Really showed me what it takes to make it farther in a field, not just art, but in life.
Me coming here every day is definitely a good vibe. Everybody around me is hard workers and they are very inspirational. They teach me new things. If there's anything that's out of line at home or that needs to be repaired, I can repair it myself.
Art Inc. for me means the transformation of lives. It means activism. It means not complaining about who's doing what and who's not doing what. It's about individual people like me and my wife saying we're going to make a difference in the lives of the people who live in our community.
They want to bring people together, give them a reason, a goal, a better understanding of each other. Something to stop the violence, give creative ideas, bring new talents forward. So by planting a seed with us, he's really helping the community grow.
The kids are learning how to hone their art skills. The Romain family, they're making changes to the building, to the outside, to the inside. The kids are learning culture. They're learning how to hone their passion. Art Inc. is phenomenal.
We've taken a 100-year-old building and turned it into a green space. We have literally cut our carbon footprint by 80% with the inclusion of solar panels on the roof, high-efficiency furnaces, and LED lights. Now we'll have more money available for programming, and that is a game changer.
That was such a great video and really helped to delve into exactly what Art Inc. is doing for our community, all in just 3 years. Having a gem like the Romain Arts and Culture Center right here in Peoria to shine is a light on arts, and culture is truly a blessing.
I couldn't agree more with you, Christine. Being a Latino woman myself, it's a breath of fresh air to have an event such like this in Peoria. Dia de los Muertos, it was actually originated in Mexico, and it's also celebrated through Latin America. It's a holiday, a very traditional holiday in which family members celebrate the past life of their loved ones. Art Inc. has chosen this initiative and is going to do this event annually to pay tribute to the life of a Peorian community person that has such an impact in their community as well. Isn't that amazing?
It's incredible, but I need you to do one favor for me, girl.
What is it?
You have to help me pronounce the name of this event. I've been practicing for a year. I cannot get it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Dia de los muertos. You got it, girl.
All right. And this year we're celebrating the life of Annie Jo Gordon. Up next, we have 2 surprise guests that knew Annie Jo very well.
We're keeping Annie Jo's legacy alive, and so I'm really happy to be part of that celebration. I have known Annie Jo for over 22 years. We've worked together for 10 years at the Urban League. She was the director of employment, and I was the director of education, and we worked very, very closely together. You know, I remember a lot of her projects, her initiatives. I remember the Displaced Homemaker program, where she worked with women from all the racial groups, basically to help them sign on at Illinois Central College, or she helped them find a job. The important thing was providing for their family. So that was a very, very successful program. I remember the first project we worked on was putting the summer youth proposal together for funding, and we successfully worked on that together and got it funded over $300,000. We were able to place about 250 students into jobs. and that was amazing to see. And actually, I had the honor of working with her on one of my dissertation projects, and we always talked about education, and I thought she would have been an amazing superintendent. And so here's some of her ideas around schooling that left an impression on me. We actually had that interview 15 years ago. The events are still really current today and very appropriate today. And I interviewed her because she's so wise, and I wanted to sort of get some of that knowledge and some of that wisdom. And she talked a lot about, the struggling students. We need to go above and beyond. We need to show them that we care. We need to give them second chances. And those things are really part of the work that I do today. Annie Jo Gordon was a phenomenal woman. She was a mentor, and I looked up to her, learned a lot from her. I mean, she dedicated her entire life to serving others, particularly Blacks and disadvantaged individuals. This is definitely a person that we want to aspire to be, and we want to follow in her footsteps. And she's looking down on us and, continuing to encourage us to do good work.
Hi, I'm Laraine Bryson, the president of the Tri-County Urban League, and it is indeed my pleasure to talk about Mrs. Annie Jo Gordon. She was actually the second employee hired by Mr. Frank Campbell, who was the first executive director, and she was hired in as his administrative assistant. She was an integral part of the organization, starting as Mr. Campbell's assistant and then working her way up through the employment department, starting with a program called LEAP, which was Labor Education Apprenticeship Program, where she recruited minorities and also women in non-traditional jobs. She was very important in our community because she helped people get into the building trades and learn new skills to empower them to just be better citizens and to provide for their families. About 1975 was when I first met her as an employee of the Urban League, and I worked in the summer jobs program. When I came on as president, I was so happy to have Annie still there because she brought a history and a richness of what happened at the Urban League. All the many, many years of helping so many people to get jobs, to improve their lives. After 42 years with one organization, the one thing that actually got her to leave the Urban League was her beautiful, lovely daughter, Jehan. When Jehan decided to run for office, Annie was her campaign manager. I knew she was in her element. She had to be there every step of the way, and the rest is history, as they say, because she was very successful. I truly, truly miss her. I really appreciate her for all the wonderful things that she did for the organization. She was also serious in helping her community to be better and building the Peoria community for equal opportunity for all people. So it is truly my honor to honor her in this way and to say I miss her and I really appreciate her and I love her. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kherat and Laraine Bryson. The Executive Director of Art Inc., Nikki Romain, has asked for a list of Annie Jo's favorite songs. And here she is to sing one of them.
You made my soul a burning fire. You're getting to be my one desire. You're getting to be all that matters to me. Oh, let me tell you, girl, I hope and pray each day I live. A little more love I'll have to give. A little more love that's devoted and true. 'Cause all I do is think about you. Oh, baby. Is think about you. I think about you, yeah. I do. suppose I should happen to cross your mind, oh, and by some chance a boy like me you really been trying to find. And let me tell you, girl, think of how exciting it would be if you should discover you feel like me. If you should discover this dream is for two. And let me tell you, girl, I light a candle every day and pray that you always feel this way, and pray that our love will forever be new. 'Cause all I do is think about you, oh, oh, is think about you. All I do is think about you, yeah. All I do is think about you. Oh, all I do is think about you.
Wow, wasn't that amazing, Christine? I still have goosebumps just thinking about it. And stay tuned because Nikki will be closing out our show with another song from Annie Liz. Annie Jo Gordon is actually the mother of Illinois State Representative Jehan Gordon Booth. And she's joining us now in an intimate conversation with Nikki and Jonathan, the founders of ART Inc.
Thank you, Carolina, and thank you all for joining us tonight. We're so happy to be here with Illinois State Representative Jahan Gordon Booth. Jonathan and I are excited to have you guys join us this evening, and even though we can't be together in person like we were last year, we're actually embracing this virtual opportunity because we have people from all over the country joining us. So let's get started. Jahan, after going over your mom's bio and everything, I think she's an amazing woman, and of course, because you are her daughter, we know, but what made her get so involved in community service? I mean, it was what, 26 years that she dedicated to community service?
41.
41. Wow.
Yep, 41 years. My mother always talked about why because I would ask the same question, because growing up, particularly in a town like Peoria is a caterpillar town, right? And so many of the people that we lived around, and our family members, they all worked at Caterpillar. And I always would ask her, well, why did you choose this route? And she always said that she dedicated her life to her people, and that's how she talked about it. Mm-hmm. She said, I dedicate my life to my people because of what I saw them do to Emmett Till. Mm. And the way that his death impacted her, I think about this moment that we're living through right now and the way that so many young people are impacted by so many of the murders that they're seeing because of the invention of the cell phone or because of body cameras, and their lives are being impacted. And I know that my mother had a profound impact on not just our family, but this entire community because of that incident. And so I try to think about it in a positive way and seeing so many young people really be activated to give of themselves. And my hope is that so many young people that we're seeing today will also be compelled to pour into people for the remainder of their lives because there's a lot of work to do.
There is a lot of work to do. And speaking of that, it makes me think, in this moment, what would your mom do? Because I mean, there is a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you might even think of that in the work that you do. So tell us, what would she be doing right now to help us?
My mother honestly only enjoyed 9 months of her retirement before she left this earth. And my hope would be that she wouldn't be involved in the movement right now. I'd love some help with my daughter, to be honest with you. And I know she would, and I know the kind of mom that she was. She would be an incredible help for myself and for my daughter, Gianna. I have a niece right now who is building her first home.
Wow.
She's an amazing realtor broker down in Atlanta. My mother loved real estate, and my niece has sort of followed in that vein. after finishing up multiple degrees. I know she'd be helping my niece build her home. I have another niece that is in her third year at Pitt State, and I know that she'd be going down to visit her every other weekend to go to her basketball, because she's a basketball player, to go to her basketball games. So my hope for my mother, what I believe my mother would do is my hope, but I also believe that she would really spend this time investing in her girls, and that's me and my two nieces.
Okay, so you know that triggered another. So you have the girls program that you do that is centered around your mom. Tell us more about that.
You know what? I think that all women should be able to experience their daughters going to prom, getting married. And I remember when I was in high school, my mother really wanted me to go to prom. And I just didn't think it was that big of a deal. So I never went to, I didn't go to prom when I was in high school. And my mom was like so into me going, and I didn't go.
And you didn't understand why.
And I didn't get it. I didn't get it. And then my mother died before I got married. And so my mother and I never got the opportunity to have that experience where I put this dress on and got, you know, fussied up, and she was there helping me. And so because my mother and I did not get to have that opportunity in that moment, I wanted to try to provide that moment for girls in this community who have dedicated their lives to service, even at a young age, because the reality of it is that times are tough economically, and unfortunately the average prom is costing parents around $714 per child. It's it's gotten out of hand, but we raise money to be able to provide for every girl in our high school system in this area to be able to have their hair, makeup, dress,
that's awesome,
nails. But really the gift that keeps on giving is the way that we connect them with the female mentors.
Yes.
To hopefully stay connected with them long beyond, you know, prom will come and go, but those relationships, those are the things that will last hopefully a lifetime. And I want to give a big shout out to all of the Annie's Girls mentors, because they really do keep up with the girls.
That's awesome.
Well, you know, when I look at you, Jahan, I think about all of the dynamic things that you're doing. And I'm just curious, in your own words, what parallels do you see between your life and that of your mother's?
Oh my goodness. My mother was incredibly dedicated to her family. I think I'm the same way. My mother was a vociferous advocate for her people, and that was this Peoria community. I feel like when I go to Springfield, people know me as I wear Peoria on my back. They know when an issue comes up, we're not gonna have a conversation without ensuring that Peoria is a part of that conversation. I think that the way that my mother was able to, now my mother was better than me, you know, and that's just, it is what it is. She had a way of making everything seem so effortless and so seamless. And I find myself struggling on a daily to try to make all of this work. But
the balance.
Yes, and I think all the time, like, why didn't she tell me it was this hard? But she definitely did not make it look hard. She made it look very easy, and it's not easy. You know, it's not easy to be a working mom and engaging like this in community and really trying to help rebuild a community that is that's struggling. We have a lot of assets, a lot to be thankful for and proud of, but we have a lot of work to do. And so I feel like my mother, I have a lot to live up to in terms of trying to do all of these things with the level of grace that she was able to do it with.
Wow. Right. So tell us more about that, about your home life, and how many siblings do you have, and just how was life at home growing up?
You know what? It's very interesting. My life growing up is probably very similar to Kennedy's. And Gianna's, right? So I was
going everywhere.
I was being trotted around to all kinds of meetings, but all of my siblings were significantly older than me, right? So I was like the last button on the coat.
Got it.
And my next closest sibling is 13 years older than me. So I grew up in a household with brothers and sisters that many of them had like either gone on to college or
So that is very similar to Gianna and Kennedy.
Yes, very much so. So I get their pain.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you probably got the best of your mother.
I did.
Yeah.
I believe that. I believe that because my mother had me, my mother and my father had me when they were in their 40s. And so there was no more practice, right? I got the best side, but they were also tired.
Amen.
Right? They were also a little more tired. And my brothers and sisters all told me that too, that I got away with things that they never would have gotten away with.
Or maybe they were just smarter in raising you.
I believe, listen, I'll go with that too.
But I get it.
Yeah. So listen, I wouldn't trade it for anything, like my siblings and I. And that's one of the things that I hold on to with, I know about Gianna and with Kennedy. They're gonna be very close with their siblings at a particular point in time. But right now, the age gap is so significant, but you would not be able to tell now that my siblings and I have a significant age gap. So I liked having the ability to have folks that I could always look up to. It was really like having a whole lot of aunts and uncles.
Yeah.
So what are some of your most fondest memories growing up with your mother and going through all of the things that she took you to, snatching you and going from one meeting to another? And like, what stands out the most when you think back about that?
Well, I can tell you what I didn't have. I didn't have an iPad. There was no cell phone. There was no mini computer. So when I would go to these events, these meetings with my mom, I would be sitting in the back row with typically one of those yellow tablets. Doodling. And but honestly, I was listening. Right? I was listening, but not realizing that I was listening. I think I was probably in college before I realized I know a lot about a lot of stuff.
When it all soaked in.
And I didn't know why I knew all this stuff. And so, you start leaning in. I went to some class and they talked about leaning into your skill set, leaning into what you're good at. And I just began to follow my passion. And my passion really led me to want to support my community. And it wasn't, I had other opportunities to go into many other areas, but what just didn't feel right for me was just chasing money. That isn't a good, there's nothing wrong with money now. Nothing wrong with money, but that wasn't where my heart was going to be I wanted to build community. And so I think a lot of that was born out of me being a young girl and being pulled to different events and listening when I did not even realize that I was paying attention.
Right.
So for our viewers out there, if there's anything, any treasure or anything that you'd want to leave with them about your mom, what would that be?
My mother was adamant about service. She was adamant about, she didn't play, and I said this before, when it came to what people needed to give back, right? And the time or their talent, because communities don't build themselves. Good communities, strong communities are built by the people that live in it and the people that are willing to give back and invest in those communities. And so one of the things that she imparted upon me and many of my siblings and my nieces and nephews and even family members was that you have to be willing to give of yourself. If you want people to be giving to you, you have to be willing to give of yourself. And the other thing that I would say is that she was incredibly committed to family. My mother was the person who, she was the nucleus. And she was the one that you never had to worry about if whatever the holiday, it could have been Kashmir Pulaski, and she was gonna be cooking. And everybody knew that that's where you could go. And you don't realize how important that is until you lose that. And you realize the level of intentionality that you have to have around maintaining your family. It's the same kind of intentionality you have to have around building your community. You have to be intentional about it, you have to be serious about it, and there has to be a real personal investment in it. And I think that, overall, my mother's commitment to family and community is the legacy that she imparted, not just into me, but into so many people in this community. I still, to this day, come across people on a very regular basis that tell me about how my mom impacted their life. And I thank you so much. I appreciate you because those memories, they keep me going when I get sad. You know, I walked in here and I saw this beautiful expression of love that you all created for this. And as you know, I cried for a long time. I could barely keep it together. But that's because of the love that I have for her, and she's gone. Yeah. 10 years later, it's a very painful space. But the reality of it is, there's a lot of beauty in it too. A lot of beauty and a lot of love. And so I just want to let you guys know I really appreciate this.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming here tonight and talking with us and telling us about your mom. I mean, I'm envious. Like, she just sounds like an amazing person. And, you know, we're just happy to give a tribute to her tonight. And we thank you for coming here and telling us more about it.
And we can see how incredible she was through you.
Aww.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Her seeds.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for tuning in with us tonight. We are so happy to have you, and the show will still go on, and we'll turn it over to our hosts, Carolina and Christine.
Wow, Annie Jo Gordon was truly amazing.
Oh my gosh, yes, Christine. For all of you tuning in, check the comment section and links below because we are having a silent auction as well. The auction ends tonight. So make sure to get your bids on with some of these awesome items.
You know, people often ask me what Art Inc. is. What do they do? Well, let me tell you that the mission of Art Inc. is to inspire and empower the community through the arts, and they do that through community development and neighborhood revitalization. I mean, have you seen the amazing murals on the walls of this center?
Yes, I have, Christine, and I just love them. I get asked that question too. And Christine, as a board member, I am firsthand acknowledgeable of their mission. And for me, it's very heartwarming to see their commitment with this community, their commitment to make a change, their commitment to give these arts programs accessible to the youth.
And they do all of this through a pay-what-you-can system. The overall objective at Art Inc. involves making arts, education, and culture affordable and accessible to all children, youth, and their families throughout the entire Peoria area, regardless of their financial situation. And this is why it is so important to donate to this organization. Right now, if you look in the comment section, you're going to see a link to donate. You can click on that link, and as soon as you do, look for your name as a shout out in the comment section. Encourage your friends that are sitting next to you. You can share this link. Their name is going to pop up as well. Art Inc. has a wonderful initiative here known as the Founding 100. I got to see this last year. It's growing, but we've got room for more. The first 100 organizations and or individual that donates $2,500 or more will be known as the Founding 100, and your name will be forever placed on the walls of the Romain Arts and Culture Center. We only have 44 slots left to fill that, and you can make that donation tonight. These are the funds that have been used for renovating the building and, most importantly, the programs.
Wow. Can you guys believe that? And not only that, but right now, if you donate $300, that will allow one child to attend the summer arts camp. How many of you can give a child that opportunity? $300?
Carolina, how many of these kids have siblings, though? They've got a brother and sister. So you're able to send the one child here to a summer camp for $300. $600 is the sibling. $900. An entire family can come.
Come on, we can do this. We can do this as a community.
Yes. And you know what? If $300 is a bit of a stretch for you this evening, we understand. That's fine. Whatever you can give, whatever's in your heart, is going to make a difference. Everything adds up. We are changing the lives of children here in the Peoria community.
Yes, Christine, that's exactly right. And we are so proud to be here with you guys tonight, supporting this amazing cause, supporting Art Inc.'s mission. Like, we couldn't be more grateful.
And we also have one more performance from the amazing Nikki Romain. Stay tuned for that. Carolina, it has been my honor and privilege to be here. You are so much fun.
You're so much fun. You guys are it too.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting Art Inc. We are Peoria.
Yes, we are.
Good night.
Good night.
lovely as a summer's day. My chérie amour, distant as the Milky Way. My chérie amour, pretty little one that I adore. You're the only girl my heart beats for. How I wish that you were mine. In a cafe, or sometimes on a crowded street. I've been near you, but you never noticed me. My chérie amour, won't you tell me how could you ignore that behind that little smile I wore? How I wish that you were mine. Yeah. Ooh. Face among the crowd. Maybe someday I'll share a little distant cloud. Oh, chérie amour, pretty little one that I adore. You're the only girl my heart beats for.